We often grapple with the profound impact of our parents on our lives. For many adult children, a central question emerges. Do emotionally immature parents truly understand their own limitations, or are they simply unaware? This isn't a simple yes or no answer. It's a deeply nuanced inquiry that touches upon self-awareness, defense mechanisms, and the very nature of emotional development. Understanding this spectrum of awareness can be crucial for healing and setting boundaries. Before we delve into awareness, let's briefly define emotional immaturity in a parental context. These parents often prioritize their own needs and feelings above their children's. They may struggle with empathy, emotional regulation, and consistent responsiveness. Their interactions can be self-centered, dismissive, or even volatile. They might avoid difficult conversations, project their own anxieties, or rely on their children for emotional support. This creates an environment where a child's emotional needs are frequently unmet. The question of awareness exists on a broad spectrum. At one end, some emotionally immature parents are genuinely clueless. They operate from a place of profound unawareness regarding their impact. Their own emotional development may have been stunted, leaving them without the capacity for deep introspection. They might believe they are good parents, simply because they provide basic necessities or follow traditional roles. They may lack the emotional vocabulary or framework to even conceive of their behavior as problematic. For them, their actions are simply normal or the way things are. They cannot see what they do not know how to see. Further along the spectrum, some parents might possess a vague, fleeting sense of discomfort. They might experience moments of unease or defensiveness when confronted. However, this awareness is often quickly suppressed. It rarely translates into sustained self-reflection or a desire for change. This fleeting awareness is often overshadowed by their own emotional fragility or deeply ingrained coping mechanisms. Then there are parents who are more acutely aware, but this awareness is often accompanied by denial or projection. They might intellectualize their behavior or blame others for their struggles. They may acknowledge issues in a superficial way, but resist any deeper personal responsibility. This type of awareness can be particularly frustrating for adult children, as it offers a glimpse of understanding without genuine accountability. Finally, a very small percentage of emotionally immature parents might achieve a deeper, more painful awareness. This often comes later in life, perhaps through a crisis or the loss of relationships. They might express regret or a desire to change, though their capacity to do so may still be limited. This level of awareness is rare and often requires significant external catalysts or internal shifts. Several psychological factors contribute to this varied landscape of awareness. One significant factor is a lack of self-reflection. Emotionally immature individuals often struggle with introspection. They may not possess the tools or the inclination to examine their own motives and behaviors. Their focus remains external, on what others are doing or how they are being perceived. Defense mechanisms also play a crucial role. Denial, projection, and rationalization are powerful tools for protecting the ego. Admitting emotional immaturity would require confronting painful truths about oneself. This can be too threatening for individuals who lack robust emotional coping skills. They may project their own immaturity onto their children or partners, blaming them for relational difficulties. Their own upbringing is another critical element. Many emotionally immature parents were raised by emotionally immature parents themselves. They learned these patterns of relating as normal. They may have never experienced healthy emotional modeling, leaving them without a blueprint for mature emotional expression. This intergenerational cycle perpetuates the lack of awareness. Cognitive dissonance also contributes to the blind spots. It's uncomfortable to hold conflicting beliefs, such as "I am a good parent" and "my actions are harming my child." To resolve this, the mind often dismisses the latter. This allows them to maintain a positive self-image even at the expense of their children's well-being. The truth is simply too painful to integrate. For adult children, understanding this spectrum of parental awareness is vital. It helps to depersonalize the parent's behavior. It's not necessarily a deliberate act of malice, but often a profound limitation. This understanding can foster a sense of compassion, not for the behavior itself, but for the underlying human struggle. It also clarifies that seeking validation or change from such parents is often futile. For the adult child, the path to healing often involves accepting the parent's limitations, regardless of their awareness. This means grieving the parent they needed but never had. It involves setting healthy boundaries and focusing on one's own emotional development. Therapy can provide a safe space to process these complex emotions and build self-compassion. For the emotionally immature parent, genuine awareness is a rare and difficult journey. It typically requires a profound willingness to look inward and challenge deeply ingrained patterns. This often necessitates external intervention, such as therapy or a significant life event that forces introspection. However, it is important to acknowledge that many will never reach this point. The question of whether emotionally immature parents know their limitations is complex. It spans a spectrum from complete unawareness to painful, often unaddressed insight. Their capacity for self-reflection is often limited by their own emotional development and defense mechanisms. For adult children, understanding this spectrum can be incredibly liberating. It shifts the focus from trying to change the parent to understanding and healing oneself. Ultimately, the journey of awareness, whether for parent or child, is a deeply personal and often challenging one.